What's up, YouTube? This is Sid's Reef coming at you with another video. Alright, check it out. So, today I'm going to do a video on dosing calcium, alkalinity, and magnesium, and what I use, what I think is more beneficial for my tank. I know it varies when it comes to what products people use and whatnot, and you know what brand, and you know how effective the products are. You know, they work. I've looked at, I did some research on this, looking up dosing for calcium, alkalinity, and magnesium, and it dwindled down to two things. Bulk Reef Supply has a mixture you can use, and then ESV has their system already. You know, they got their products, which I've heard are really good, especially the component number 1 and 2, which is component number 1 would be alkalinity, component number 2 would be calcium, and then this I had to buy. It's not part of the component, but I had to buy it on the side, magnesium. So basically, this is how I broke it down. I looked at what am I getting for my money and how effective is the product. I'm shooting for quality over quantity. Now, a lot of people go with Bulk Reef Supply to get the mixture, the salts, and you get it for a better deal than, say, this stuff. This stuff's a little more expensive. I looked up the pricing. It was like I think a $20 difference between it all. I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that. I'm not gonna. I gotta go relook at the pricing. It was like a couple weeks ago I looked at it, but that's there was a difference in pricing in the ESV, Bionic. These two are the the component 1 and 2, and then the magnesium. You know, they're a little more expensive. It was around like 30 something bucks for these two, and then like 20 bucks for that. So I researched it, and I found more success stories with ESV Bionic, their product, than I did with the Bulk Reef Supply product. I love Bulk Reef Supply. I love all their stuff. I'm not bashing on Bulk Reef Supply. I'm not promoting ESV or the Bionic. I'm not, you know, they're not paying me to do this or nothing. I'm just giving a genuine video on what products that I use. This stuff I've heard is awesome. I haven't been using it yet. I'm getting a dosing pump tomorrow, so, and I'll do another video on that and how I hook this up. But the product itself is good. A lot of people have been complaining that the salt mix, or the mix that the alkalinity, calcium, and or magnesium mix at the Bulk Reef Supply sells, I think it's just the calcium alkalinity mix. I don't know about magnesium. I didn't really research that with Bulk Reef Supply, but just concerning these two, I know that they have some people have had complaints on pumps getting messed up over time, and from maybe the calcium, and I think it was calcium. No, well, whatever. Over the calcium or alkalinity mix that they had in their system. So I saw that and I was like, you know. So, and then Bionic is a little more concentrated. It's got some trace elements in it, so it's a little bit better. I mean, you're paying for, you know, almost a better product. Bulk Reef Supply also has a good product too, don't get me wrong, but is definitely cheaper for the mix. I'll show you how this stuff works. Okay, so the magnesium. Let's look at the magnesium. So the magnesium comes in this bottle right here, and it's already filled up all the way up to here, as you can tell. And I went to my local fish store and I looked at this stuff and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then I looked over at the alkalinity and I'm like, wait a minute. And I asked him, I was like, do you guys use this? And he's like, no, they come like that. And what you got to do is when you first open this, and it says right here, you have to put RODI water in it, and you got to fill it up to this ale right here. So from down here up here, and this stuff, when you get it, it's gonna look all chunky. You're gonna see chunks of, there's something in there, I can't see it, there's like chunks, I don't know if you can see it, there's like chunks of stuff in there. Once you get water in this thing and fill it up, you want to be careful because the container, I mean, it's a good container, but it's still kind of flimsy. So when you're mixing it, you know, when you shake it up, you know, fill the water up, shake it up a little bit, and because I watched them do it at the fish store because they had they dosed this stuff at the fish store too. But they filled it up and shook it up pretty good. The dude said to be careful. For my purpose, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be drilling a hole in the top and then hooking up my dosing pump, and I'll show a video on how to do that later. But yeah, so you fill the water up, mix it up, be careful with the alkalinity, the number one, because it does have chunky stuff on the bottom and the container's kind of flimsy. Calcium, same thing, concentrate. Basically fill the line up to the line. This does not have chunkiness in it. It's, you know, it's just a jug. And same thing, just fill it up with RODI water. Make sure you fill with RODI water, nothing else, not tank water or nothing like that. And that's it. That is the magnesium, alkaline, and calcium. Now, when is it a good time to dose? Well, you should start dosing once you have a handful of corals. In my situation, all my stuff's asleep in my tank, but in my situation, I do not have a ton of corals in my tank. I started out not with a whole bunch, and then it built up, and now I got a ton of corals in my tank, and I need to raise up my levels. Now, I test my water every 2 days, and my alkalinity's been dropping, my calcium has been, at first was a little bit started going down, and then now it's kind of bringing back up and stabilizing it. I'm doing about 1 water change a week to keep up with my calcium, alkalinity, and of course my magnesium. I had a horrible problem with my magnesium at first, and I was testing really low, and then I actually had to bring it, I had to go buy some magnesium from the store and bring it back up. So, and then I just finally said, screw this, I'm gonna go get a dosing pump. This thing is just too much to maintain. That way, you know, I don't have to do water changes solely for the purpose of to increase my alkalinity, calcium, and magnesium. So, and if you're using a large volume tank, like a 100-gallon, like mine's a 90-gallon display with the sump and whatnot, so you're looking at 110 gallons, 120 gallons or so, around thereabouts. You want to, like, if you have a lot of water in there, you're not gonna, doing water changes isn't just enough. So I think dosing with a larger system is really beneficial in this factor. So if you have a smaller tank, maybe like a 40 to 50 gallon, maybe 50 gallon and below, or maybe, I don't know about a 60 gallon, but I've done some research on this, that, you know, water changes suffice as a parameter replacement for alkalinity, calcium, and or magnesium. So, you know, it all depends. But if you have a larger system, it's a little harder to you know, keep control over it. You don't want to be adding magnesium or calcium or alkalinity in, like, you know, cups at a time, or you know, in large swings, because that's just it's gonna swing your levels way high, and it might harm some of your fish and or corals. So you know, dosing is really beneficial. When you dose? Like I said, when you start getting a larger coral population in your tank, especially if you have SPSs. I've got a handful of SPSs in my tank, so it's and my levels are at a decent level, but they could be better. You know, I'm trying to go for max results here. But if you have SPSs, this is a must do, because you're not gonna. I've seen a lot of people fail from not dosing. So Bionics, a very reliable company. I've heard a lot of good things about it. We're gonna test it out. I'm gonna give you guys a follow-up video on this exact product for a little bit longer, and I might switch over to something else, maybe to if I'm not, you know, just to test drive something out. I might stick with this though, but we'll see. Other than that, this is Sid's Reef. I'm out. Peace.